probably by the end of next week. So we're in good shape with that document. And I also wanted to comment, I put out a little sheet regarding MPO rules and new language that's probably going to be in the Moving Ahead for Progress in the 21st Century, or MAP 21 bill that's being put forward in the Senate. This was from a few weeks ago, but I think it does a pretty good job of summarizing the changes to the thresholds for establishing an MPO, and talks a little bit about the Tier 1 and Tier 2 MPOs, and just basically goes over that information. So I wanted to provide that to the group just so everybody can be on the same page about what's likely going to be happening sometime here in the future about changes to MPOs and how it might affect us.
You have a project?
Yes. I just wanted to say that the executive directors met with Bill Watson last week, the boss at Community Planning, and I asked him about, normally this would be a transportation enhancement year when we'd be opening the competition in the summer, early summer, for transportation enhancement projects. And DOT has decided there will be no transportation enhancement process competition until the surface transportation reauthorization has occurred. So all these things that Mark just showed about what's happening in the proposed Senate version of the surface reauthorization, and which is similar in the House on how the number of programs and how they're funded are changing. So no competition most likely this summer for transportation enhancement. CMAQ may proceed because of other issues. So. And secondly, the Route 108 scenic byways. Greg's going to be working on the signage. Our interns, Nick and Zach, took the photos this summer, and now we're making a signage data dictionary. Is that what you say?
We're going to GPS the locations of the signs so we can map them out.
Yeah, so you'll be able to click on it and see the sign and what it's about and the location. So that's part of the corridor management plan, and we'd love to hear from the city of Dover and the town of Durham. They still haven't provided us any information on their community assets and attributes for the scenic highway. So without that, we can't complete the corridor management plan. But I've told Kyle to move ahead in January and start in on the general meetings of the communities involved with us, which would be Newmarket, Durham, Madbury, Dover, and Rollinsford, because the other three communities are ready to go, and I want to get this done before the end of the fiscal year. That's all I have.
Okay, so no other projects?
Oh, yes, I do have one other thing. Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the Downeaster, and one of the factors in increasing the amount of trains going in and out of Boston has been what slows it down at Haverhill, waiting for a slot to open at North Station, and also just capacity on the Haverhill Bridge. So there was an announcement yesterday of the Tiger grants, the Tiger 3 grants, and the Haverhill Bridge in Massachusetts was one of the projects that was funded, I think 10 million. And what it will do was add additional capacity to the bridge, and which would allow for 7 trains a day on the Downeaster instead of the 5 that are going in right now. So that's sort of very good news for the Downeaster on their 10-year application anniversary.
That's a big deal for the rail. I know that bridge is basically falling in the water from what I understand. It's not in good shape. Is this the bridge that has a rotating platform or something. But yeah, this bridge is a big issue.
And it also adds
Someone goes to
capacity
America.
for Pan Am for freight. So it's good news all the way around.
I guess since Michelle's not in here, I'll give a quick update about our Safer to School travel plan we're helping Wakefield with right now. Michelle and Dan went up and did traffic counts to start collecting data for this project, and Michelle and Marilyn collected the parent surveys and the student surveys for the elementary school up there, and they've entered that information into the national database. So the travel plan process for Wakefield is going pretty well, and just to give some background on this Safer to School travel plan is so that we can, in the future, Wakefield can in the future apply for or during the general grant round, they can apply for a general grant to build hopefully some sidewalks, and maybe some community paths in their town that they had previously been funded through transportation enhancements, but their local matching funds fell through, so they're going to try to get the project done in through Safer to School, which is 100% funding. So yeah, everybody's doing a pretty good job of it.
Yes.
I'll give a coast update. We've been kind of busy. In the beginning of December, we implemented Saturday service on our Route 1 bus, which serves Dover, Somersworth, and Berwick. It'll be the first time ever we've implemented that service the idea is on a permanent basis, not just a seasonal basis. Ridership the first weekend was as strong as a regular weekday, which we expected. It's always been the case when we've implemented weekend service on this route. Additionally, we made some changes to our Route 6 bus route, which serves Farmington and Rochester. We've streamlined it a little bit in Farmington, and as a result, been able to extend the route beyond the Lilac Mall all the way up to the Market Basket Plaza on 125. This is the #1 requested destination on this route. And the first day, we went from the first day we saw the impact. We had probably a 50% increase in ridership that day. I don't know the exact number, but it was significant. I haven't checked the numbers since, but hopefully here by the end of December we'll have some good ways to really analyze those numbers and see how it's shaking out. We talked a little bit about the Clipper Connection, which is our commuter express services. First two routes will start rolling on January 9th. They will both originate, one will originate in Dover, one will originate in Somersworth. They will both travel to the shipyard, drop shipyard employees, and then continue on to Pease as an option for Pease employees. In the afternoons, they'll start at Pease, go over to the shipyard, and then travel back north along the same route they traveled southbound in the morning. We're not starting in Rochester because there's already an operator in Rochester that we don't want to necessarily conflict with. And the way that pricing is set up now, that is a conflict where we want to try and work with them, see if there's a solution that we can figure out so that we both can coexist. And that'll just take some time. We're looking at potentially adding another route to serve another part of Dover, as well as Pease and Portsmouth, to get folks to work. This route would primarily be a result of the closure of the Memorial Bridge to foot and bicyclists here in the near term, right after the new year. We have proposals in to provide the shuttle service that's part of the Memorial Bridge closure. That's a hot topic right now. We haven't heard much at all about how that's going to be resolved. The bridge, the announcement has been that the bridge will close to to traffic on the 3rd of January. So I don't know if any provider can respond that quick at this point. Our proposals are to do more than the minimum specified. We would provide service every half an hour between the two communities, and we would do more than bridge abutment to bridge abutment. We would go from downtown to downtown. There is some question whether or not as a publicly subsidized agency we can compete for that work. That's still up in the air. Certainly making significant strides in our regional coordination effort. Hope to have services funded under the 5310 Purchase and Service grant operating in early February through the coast. And we have been working on expanding our capacity as a call center to deal with that. Of course, you heard about our Veterans Transportation Grant. Ridership last year was 464,000 trips. This year to date, we're up almost 15%. That would put us at almost 550,000 trips next year. So we're seeing just an incredible surge, continually every year. Certainly the services we're looking at adding will only enhance that. We additionally are looking at, have been requested by DOT and the Strafford Regional Planning Commission, Rockingham Planning Commission, to look at whether or not we can also take on the Seacoast Commuter Options project, which is the Transportation Management Association for the region. It's a 3-year project funded under CMAQ with an additional 2 years tacked on to it as a result of being included in the Little Bay Bridge Record of Decision. Would require another staff person and be targeted toward finding employees of the region and alternative way to commute other than alone in their car. A lot of synergies possible if that's housed at coast, given all the other services we have in place and the establishment of this call center as part of our coordination program. So we're looking hard at that, and hopefully we'll have an answer back to DOT by February on that. It's that time of year again. All of our letters have gone out to the local communities that we provide service to, requesting their financial contribution. For the first time in 3 years, we're not asking for the same amount. We've had to increase our request as a result of those pressures that we're all experiencing, healthcare, fuel, as well as growth in the incredible growth in our program for individuals with disabilities that is provided as a civil right. So that is our fastest growing segment of our business, growing at an average of 50% a year over the past 3 years. So, and that, of course, is the most expensive form of transportation we provide. So we can't hold the line this year, but we're doing everything we can to keep those costs as low as possible. It should be an interesting budget.
Okay. Any other business? Mark or someone else?
This just came to mind. We were told in the fall we got a notice in the fall just before the public hearings for the New Hampshire statewide rail plan that they were going to be holding off on those public hearings. There was one scheduled, I believe, in Portsmouth actually. They said they were going to hold off till the new year, so we are in the new year now, and I'll be keeping people posted about these public hearings when they become announced.